Testing. 1, 2, 3. Just giving this a go. I'm about to be taken off soon. Yeah. Well, we got to wind me. Why, cool. Kimberly Wilson. Nice. I'm just at home in my bedroom. I'm about to be heading out shortly and going to our meetings that we have every Sunday afternoon at 2 o'clock. So I just thought I'd give this a go. Nice. Yeah. I'm just thinking I can't really take this with me, so I'll have to end the meeting again before I go. Yes, this is proof that I'm actually Australian, and it's daylight as we speak. And there's lots of sunshine out there somewhere. Although they must spray overnight here because we don't see chemtrails, but we do see wispy stuff across the sky during the day. So yeah, the sunshine, but it's a bit dimmed, you could say. And I can't unplug this because what's it on? 7%. I'm doing this on my Galaxy Book 2 Samsung. And because it runs Windows, it thinks that, hey, this is a normal computer. Yeah. And thanks, Kimberly. Not bad for 51. Oh. Yeah, I can't do that on my end. Can you actually hear me all right though? No, all I can do is mute. No. Yeah. I hear that a lot from people in their 50s and 60s. But am I loud enough now? Not sure how much control I have on the volume. Okay. Yeah, mate. I'm Aussie. Aussie as you can get. Thought I might see Hemi come on, but anyway. Yep. As I'm saying, I could show you outside, but I'm plugged in still. But there's daylight. Sunday afternoon. Yep. This is what it's like in the future. Lots of daylight. Yeah. Yeah, I was thinking it'd be about 9, 10 o'clock at night there. Saturday night. All right. So that's 9 there. Yes. Sometimes it takes, oh, see, there you go. 9, 10 o'clock at night. I was both right. This is definitely the first time I've done anything like this. So this is new for me. Yeah. I was just watching Carol's live earlier, as Kimberly would know because she was there too. But I was just over at the park with the kids, my grandchildren. Oh, you can hear them. Yeah, they're upstairs. We kind of have a opposite almost situation of Tim's. We're the daughter's parents, but we're living downstairs, and daughter live upstairs. And that's the kid's father up there now with the kids. I have two daughters. One's 25, the other one's 27. The oldest 27-year-old has two daughters, 2 and 4. Yeah. If you see in my thumbnail or in my profile photo there, it's my younger daughter. Would have been over 10 years old. All right. So they're just saying that you're okay now. You can go live on your mobile. Yeah, we've got in our parking spaces at the shops, there's some there that actually are designated for senior They keep saying, "Oh, I should be able to park there, shouldn't I? I'm a grandfather." But supposedly I need to be old enough to be a senior, not just be a grandfather. No, just like at most places, there's no one really wearing masks except for the odd couple of people who believe that it's necessary. Yes, you can be live on your phone. That's right. That's what Wine was saying. Yeah. So that'll be make it a lot easier. Then it'll be stuck in one spot. That's another thing. I live in Queensland, so the issue we're having now is that there's been quite a mass exodus from New South Wales and Victoria, and they're moving here, particularly in our area. And our property prices have jumped between 50 and 100% in the last 2 years. I'm seeing 3-bedroom houses that we used to see as being $500,000 to $600,000 to buy are now selling for 1.3 million as we speak, because it's meters from the beach. Even though it's just an ordinary 30-year-old brick house that's just run down, whatever, doesn't matter. I actually lived across the road from the beach before I moved to this one where we're living now. But it's at the time when we first moved in 2006, it would have been worth 500,000 to 600,000. Yeah, that's about it. Because there's all those lockdown laws and all that stuff, they've been knowing through the word of mouth or some other way that we're not getting so locked down here. So everyone's like, that's it, I'm out. I'm going to start moving up here. Next door neighbours actually moved up from Victoria, and they bought a unit just over from where we live here, and they're living here until their place is built. But yeah, the house I lived in was worth around 500,000 to 600,000 when we moved in. We were just renting. We were paying $360 a week on rent, and no, $310 a week, I should say. And then she brought it up to $360 a week, which was matching a much nicer place. But because we live at the time, you could walk out the front door, cross the road, straight down the beach access, and you can go and swim in the ocean. It's become very sought after. And all those prices there are all shooting up because of that. And when we moved out, we were like getting it all cleaned up. And then she came in, and last day there we're moving out. Oh, we're going to knock the place down. Oh, selling. I think she's selling it. I don't even know what ended up happening there. I asked, but just haven't yet. But supposedly it was worth $900,000 at that time, and that was with it knocked down with a bare piece of land. But that's Australian. So that'd be like 500,000 US. But yeah, and then I would say that they put a 4-bedroom place, very modern, brand new, all built, and that'd be worth 1.8 now. So yeah, but when I saw the prices of the properties, not even at the beach, but they're a couple hundred meters away, selling for 1.3, and they're just basic 3-bedroom houses. I'm just like, wow, they shut up. But yeah, hey, William, I'm just about to head off. I was just having a bit of a check on how I can go with this live because I haven't actually done it yet. I haven't actually done any actual vlogging videos or anything, so I don't even know much about doing that yet. Well, I see how it's done, but just haven't done it. But yeah, I just thought, I'll put this on before I go and have a bit of a chat. But yeah, I got to shoot off. It's time I left. So, but yeah, anyway, I'll have to love everyone and take off. Just thought I'd see how this went otherwise. Yeah, no worries. Well, that was good, that 9-hour live on Carol's. I just finished work in the afternoon and I opened my phone and there it was showing that she was on live, and it's like, oh. Well, thank you. I have our church meeting. We are part of a church called the Revival Fellowship. We believe that the power of God still works the same way as you see in the book of Acts. We've all received the Holy Spirit, speak in tongues, seen people healed. My own father should have been dead when we came along. He was healed weeks after getting baptized, and he received the Holy Spirit, and I hadn't yet, but he then went in hospital. He should have been not alive when he went in there. He had nowhere near enough blood for him to be sustained, and they were very puzzled. And they took a pregnant lady out of the ambulance and rushed into Brisbane Hospital, which is an hour away, because that's the main hub of all that sort of thing with the cancer patients, and put a catheter down inside his chest, because if it put it in the arm, it would have destroyed his veins to do the chemo, and also put him on dialysis because his kidneys were completely stripped out, and then he couldn't filter blood anymore. So not enough blood and not filtered, which had them all puzzled. How's he still alive? And at that stage, I was like, I don't know what this is all about yet, because I was 18 and all focusing on going to nightclubs and all sorts of stuff like that, smoking the green stuff and having fun with my mates. And this came up. I had to work in the shop. We had a fast food shop because my dad couldn't get out of bed anymore.
And yeah, it's pretty hard to get all the words into the chat. That's why it's better to talk about it. But I had to take my dad's position in the shop to help Mum look after it because he was not able to get out of bed anymore. And a guy come around from the church and said, "Oh, he can be healed through Jesus Christ." And I'm like, "That's interesting." We spent the whole time starting to debunk the Bible and finding out it was all wrong translations and everything. And then the guy says, "Oh, no, it's all there, and you can actually access it through Strong's Concordance, and the King James Version is the closest one." And he was coming out with all the stuff of why the world is the way it is and all that, and it stems back from Abraham and all that stuff, and yeah, the whole history of everything. Ended up, I was just like, okay, but I didn't want to be getting into this sort of stuff. I didn't want to believe it was true. And then next morning, I went to bed after one of the videos that showed people getting healed and all that. From one guy got gangrene, he was going to be amputated the next morning, and a nurse was in the fellowship over there in New Zealand and said, "Oh, I can pray for you if you want. See if it'll, ask God to heal it." He goes, "Oh, well, that'd be great." So next day they unwrapped him to do the operation. It's like, oh, well, we don't have to do that anymore. His leg's fine again. So they took him, sent him out again, discharged him. And quite a few other testimonies of people having miraculous healings, and I'm like, maybe it's just through all this believing, and they're like, no, it can't be just real, actual God. Until the next day I saw a Bob and Numerics video sealing the original text of the Greek and the Hebrew, where if you change one letter in any of the Bible, it would actually ruin that seal. And I'm like, ooh, okay. So I went with them and we got baptized all the same night. But yeah, after 3 weeks, my dad and my mum received the Holy Spirit. They spoke in tongues, and I was like on the fence about it. And my dad ended up going to hospital, and I came to a point where when my dad actually came back out of hospital and I was late getting to the meeting, and he was standing up giving testimony on the fact that he was actually completely healed of the cancer and he was fine. And he had to tell him to take the catheter and everything out of his chest because he doesn't need it anymore. And I was like, no, you're going to die for sure. It's going to come back. But the doctors saw that the tests were negative days after he went in to the Brisbane hospital, but they didn't want to believe it. They just put in a more permanent catheter so he could go home and be, able to just stay getting chemotherapy as they believe that he should. And they were quite dismayed by the fact that my dad would sit up out of bed when they were going in to see him at the hospital. And they say, "Oh, Mr. Osborne, how are you going today?" And you sit up and go, "Oh, fantastic, how's yourself?" And they'd be like, "What? Oh, should they be sick now? This chemo usually rocks people." And he's just completely fine. His hair wasn't falling out. Nothing. Totally unaffected. We went there to visit and we go out in the car and he'd drive us down the road. We go and visit places and drive us back again. And yeah, And it took me 2 months, and I was just like, after trying to get a bag of stuff to have with my mates, this guy did a runner and took the money, and I'm just like, yeah, I think the Lord's trying to tell us something here, and ended up getting to the point where I think I need to pay attention to the Lord a bit more. And I got down one night. One of the mates was with me, and he was checking it out as well. And I said to him, I think we're just going to go and do it. I'll go up beyond the stage and after the meeting and pray for the Holy Spirit. And got up, and I said, "Oh, you want to come with me?" He goes, "Yeah, why not?" And we both sat there together and prayed for the Holy Spirit. We both spoke in tongues, and we both had a complete change around in our way of thinking. I didn't want to drink alcohol anymore. I never smoked, so that wasn't really a thing for me. But didn't really want to smoke the green stuff either. Got rid of all the stuff for that, and yeah. And after a while, I was going to nightclubs and everything, and I just saw the scene there as like, no, this is just not right. And there's one girl I was talking to one time. I was talking to her about it, and she goes, "Actually, you want to abstain from the appearance of evil as well, not just not be doing it, but also abstain from the appearance." And I'm like, "Yeah, okay." And it said it there in the scriptures, and I'm like, "Well," so I stopped going to any of that, and my whole way of thinking just changed. So yeah. My dad recovered a heap. He was barely able to walk, and then after weeks, we had to move out. We moved out of our place where we were at. We were in a unit. It was upstairs, and then they were telling us, "Oh, you need to be, you probably could be wheelchair bound. You want to be in a place that's low set, have handrails and stuff like that, disabled stuff." And we just moved into a high block house. Yeah, all the living areas upstairs, and my he was struggling to go up the stairs and down the stairs in the first couple of days of moving. He just carried a little box, and he was just like, because he's, I didn't tell you that his back lost about 5 inches off his height because all his vertebrae were getting eaten out and crushing and demolishing. And top of his sternum broke. All his ribs were breaking everywhere because they were all eaten out. And the X-rays it showed it was like full of holes, like Swiss cheese. And yeah, he was recovering so well that after 2 weeks, we were still moving house, just bit by bit. He was able to carry bigger boxes and just walk up the stairs almost like normal, stuff like that. There's one in Athens in Georgia, and there's one in Fresno, California. And that's all I know. Well, that's all they have at the moment. Yeah. But basically, yeah, I just had a brother recently in the fellowship. He actually was supposed to be dying from a melanoma he had on the top of his head. And he ended up having a big ball that was actually sitting up about this high on the top of his head. And it was starting to go into his brain. He was losing brain function and everything. And he got to the point where he was not supposed to survive much more than days or weeks, bringing stuff into their house ready for when he goes and all that. And then his wife just got to the point where, "Lord, if he has anything else he's got to do, then heal him. If he should go, then just make it quick." And it was very soon after that prayer that it all started making a turnaround where he was able to see it shrinking, and it was all red and inflamed. It was really aggressive and all that, and that was not happening as much over the next few days, and over the coming weeks, he's regaining all his mobility. He was stable. He couldn't lift one of his arms. It's a bit faint memory now because it was last 6 months to a year ago. But he was able to start using both his hands, and he was able to start talking properly, and all the stuff that was happening. Where the point where, like now, it's completely gone down flat now, and he's coming to meetings like normal and no issue whatsoever. He's completely recovered, and it's just a major testimony of God healing right there. Pretty unrefutable. But yeah, anyway, it is 1:30 and I have to go. But yes, we'll have to chat later. It's pretty awesome. Alrighty. Been great chatting. And I'll talk to you on another day. Okay. See you, me and William and Kimberly. Bye.